Hello, this is Louise Hay. What if I told you that in just 7 days of listening, something deep inside you could shift, that the voices that once hurt you could lose their power, not because they changed, but because you did. For the next 7 days, I invite you to come home to your power, to no longer react from old wounds, but to respond from peace. Imagine that, a life where nothing outside of you can shake what's strong inside. Say this with me now. I am no longer available for pain rooted in the past. I am safe now. Listen to this each day and notice what softens, what rises, what frees. Your peace is not out there. It begins here, with you. Sweetheart, I've always said what we give out, we get back. But before we can give love, peace, or power, we must know what we're giving from. Most of us don't realize how much we're still living in reaction, not to this moment, but to a memory dressed up as the present. The first sign you're not in control of your peace is a reflex reaction. That emotional spike? That's a teacher in disguise. Have you ever felt your heart race after someone's tone? Or felt instantly defensive, like your whole body clenched, even though no real threat was there? That's not weakness. That's a signal. That's your nervous system saying, this reminds me of something that hurt. It may not be the exact same situation, but it taps on the same emotional bruise. Most people react, not from the moment, but from memory. That quick retort, that urge to run, that heat in the chest, those are echoes. Triggers are unhealed truths. They show us what still needs our love. And this is why healing is not about pretending to be calm. It's about becoming aware. When we begin to notice these automatic reactions with compassion, not shame, we begin to shift. We go from, why am I like this? To, oh, there's a part of me asking to be held. So I invite you now, gently, take inventory. Where in your life do you react more than you respond? Is it with your partner, your parents, that one coworker who always hits a nerve? Don't judge yourself, just notice. Awareness is the first kind of power. And in those moments when the wave comes, when you feel yourself about to snap, shrink, or shut down, pause. One breath, one hand to heart, one silent whisper. This is an old wound. I do not have to follow it. Let's bring in a new practice. When you feel triggered, try saying silently, this is familiar, but I choose differently now. I'm safe in this moment. I can respond with love. I see the child in me who got scared. I'm here now. These are not just phrases. These are reprogramming tools. Every time you pause instead of react, you interrupt a pattern that's been looping for years. You build new neural pathways. You declare to your inner world, we don't live in the past anymore. You are not your reaction. You are the one learning how to love the part that's been reacting all along. Let's say this together now. I am learning to pause. I respond with awareness, not old pain. Again, softly, kindly, like a parent speaking to their child. I am learning to pause. I respond with awareness, not old pain. You are doing beautifully. It's not about never being triggered. It's about knowing what to do when you are. And each time you choose to pause, you reclaim more of your power. Now I want to tell you something that might change how you see the people who've hurt you and the pain you still carry. Nothing can truly affect us unless it touches something already aching inside. Think about this with me, gently. If a stranger called you a word that didn't apply to you, let's say they said you were a pineapple, You'd probably laugh. Why? Because there's no wound there. You don't carry that story inside. It can't stick. But if someone calls you worthless, or a failure, or too much, and your heart stings, it's not because their words hold power. It's because somewhere inside, a younger version of you still wonders, what if they're right? You see, the pain we feel from others doesn't begin with them. It begins within. Others are not hurting you. They are activating what's still waiting to be healed. This is not about blame. This is about liberation. This is about reclaiming your inner authority. Because if the wound is inside you, then so is the medicine. And oh, my love, how powerful you become when you realize this. Instead of building walls, we build bridges to ourselves. Instead of hardening, we soften. Instead of staying angry, we get curious. When something or someone stings you, ask yourself, what story is this waking up inside me? When did I first feel this way? And what do I need to believe instead? You might remember a moment from childhood, a teacher's tone, a parent's absence, a rejection that never made sense. That's okay. You are not going back to relive it. You are going back to retrieve the part of you who got frozen there. Speak to that younger version of yourself. Hold them. Reassure them. Tell them, you are not stupid. You were never too much. You didn't deserve the silence or the blame. You were always worthy of love. This is emotional alchemy. This is self-parenting. This is how we stop being victims of the world and start becoming conscious creators of our peace. And the more you do this, the less the world will shake you. The more centered you become. The more unshakable your love feels. And from that place, you no longer fear what others say or do. Because you know, it's not about them. It's about what you've already healed. Let's speak this truth together. I heal the part of me that still believes I'm not enough. Again, slowly, like balm over a wound. I heal the part of me that still believes I'm not enough. You are not broken. You are becoming. And the world outside cannot hurt what has been healed within. Have you ever stood in front of a mirror, truly looked into your own eyes, and asked, why does this still hurt me? What part of me believes this is true? It's one of the most courageous things you can do, because that reflection is not just showing you your face. It's showing you your beliefs, your wounds, your forgotten truths. Triggers are sacred invitations. They reveal what's still tender, but you don't need to protect that pain. You can love it into healing. Mirror work is one of the most powerful tools I've ever shared, and the beauty of it is its simplicity. You don't need anything fancy, just you, your reflection, and a willingness to be present. Stand there, look into your eyes, not with judgment, not with the stories others gave you, but with a quiet curiosity, a loving softness, and ask, what do I still believe about myself that lets this hurt me? It might take a few breaths. It might take a few tears. But if you listen closely, you'll hear something. Maybe an old voice that says you're not good enough. Maybe a leftover belief that you're too sensitive, too loud, too broken. And in that moment, you get to decide if you still want to carry that. You are not here to harden around your pain. You are here to open within it, to wrap your arms around the parts of you that never got held, to whisper to yourself what you've always needed to hear. You didn't deserve that. You're not too much. You were never met with enough. Your sensitivity is your gift, not your flaw. When we react to something outside, It's usually because we haven't yet loved that part inside. The judgment we fear from others is often the judgment we still hold against ourselves. Mirror work isn't about fixing. It's about befriending. It's about seeing yourself and staying. So the next time you're triggered, instead of turning outward, turn inward. Go to the mirror. Ask gently, what does this part of me need right now? And then give it a kind word, a breath, a tear, a smile, a forgiveness. This is how you rewire the past, not with shame, but with presence. Let's say this together now. Everything that triggers me is here to teach me. I choose to respond with compassion. One more time, from the heart. Everything that triggers me is here to teach me. I choose to respond with compassion. You are not your triggers. You are the love learning how to hold them. People come to me and say, Louise, why does it still hurt so much if it's already in the past? And I gently remind them, we don't have to hold on to pain to prove it happened. What if I told you that every time you replay that hurt in your mind, your heart thinks it's happening all over again? The body doesn't know it's the past. It only knows you're hurting. And sometimes the pain doesn't come from what happened. It comes from how long we've carried it without compassion. So let's begin here, together, with kindness. Let's gently open the door to a room in your soul where an old story lives, and let some fresh air in. Because the pain is old, but you are new. You are not the same person who was wounded. You have breath now, and awareness, and the power of choice. That's what healing really is. Not erasing what happened, but rewriting what you believe about yourself because of it. Healing is remembering that your value was never diminished by the hurt. It was only hidden beneath it. If you're still being hurt by old words, it's time to question. Whose voice is this? Was it someone who didn't understand your light? Someone who projected their pain onto you? We often carry sentences spoken in someone else's fear, and we plant them like seeds in our subconscious, watering them with self-doubt. But those roots were never meant to stay. You didn't come here to carry someone else's pain. You came here to grow your own peace. Let's do this together. This is a sacred practice, not a performance. Write the wound. Write down the memory, the phrase, the moment that still echoes inside you. Let it spill out without judgment, not to relive it, but to release it. You can begin with, I believed I was unworthy when, I felt unseen when. Write the new truth. Answer the wound with wisdom. It might sound like, that was never my truth. I am allowed to exist. I am safe to be seen. I am worthy of love that doesn't make me beg. Or even more tender, I forgive myself for believing the lie. I now choose to believe I am enough. Read it aloud. Speak it gently, then with strength. Let your voice be the balm. Let your words rewrite the rhythm of your nervous system. Let yourself feel what it's like to be held by your own truth. Can you feel what begins to shift? That shaking inside? That's not weakness. That's the old story packing its bags. That's the inner child unclenching her fists. That's the truth rising. You are allowed to let go of what you once held tightly, not because it didn't matter, but because you matter more. You matter more than the memory, more than the shame, more than the apology that never came. You matter simply because you exist, and that will always be enough. Letting go doesn't mean it was okay. Letting go means you are okay now. It means choosing peace over proving. It means placing your hand over your heart and saying, I survived that, and now I rise. It means trusting that you don't have to keep hurting in order to honor what you've been through. I let go of the pain I never needed to carry. Again, I let go of the pain I never needed to carry. Let these words become your song. Whisper them when you wake. Murmur them as you fall asleep. Let them travel through your bloodstream like light. Say them to the mirror. Say them to the sky. Say them to the part of you that still needs to hear it most. And if the old wound tries to whisper again, you can look at it and say, thank you. I see you. I know where you come from, but I choose differently now. You are not rejecting the past. You are blessing it for showing you where love was most needed, because you do have a choice. Every moment is a new canvas. You are not defined by what happened. You are defined by what you're willing to believe today. And today, you get to believe something kinder. You are not your pain. You are the one who is learning how to hold yourself through it. And that makes you powerful beyond measure. You are not broken. You are blooming through the cracks. You're not behind. You're not late. You're right on time for your healing. Right on time for your peace. Right on time for your return home to yourself. Let go, dear one. Let go not because you're weak, but because you're ready. And the universe, it rejoices every time you set yourself free. And now, dear one, we arrive at a turning point where you begin to reclaim what was always yours, your emotional power. This is not a moment of loud triumph, but of quiet, radiant strength, the kind that rises softly like the sun, without needing permission or applause. Let's be very gentle here. Reclaiming your power doesn't mean becoming hard or closed off. It doesn't mean building a wall so tall that nothing and no one can reach you. No, sweetheart, it means becoming safe inside. It means learning to anchor your peace within your own being, so that the storms outside no longer toss you around. It means no longer giving your peace away to every opinion, every reaction, every rejection. It means standing in your center, not with anger, but with softness and strength. I often say, the world no longer dictates my worth. I decide how I feel, how I respond, and how I carry myself. This isn't about control. It's about choice. And choice is a sacred act of love. Every time you choose to protect your peace instead of proving your point, you reclaim another piece of yourself. For years, we may have lived from the outside in. We waited to be chosen to feel lovable. We needed someone else to say we were worthy before we believed it ourselves. We tried to read other people's faces to decide how we should feel inside. But when you start to live from the inside out, something sacred begins to shift. You stop asking, do they love me? And start asking, do I feel love in my own being? You stop chasing validation and begin cultivating self-trust. That, my dear, is emotional maturity, and it's beautiful. Imagine your energy as a golden light around you. You are wrapped in warmth, radiance, and truth. This light is not a barrier, it is a blessing. It doesn't shut people out, but it lets you decide who and what comes close. And just like you wouldn't leave your front door open to anyone walking by, you don't need to leave your heart wide open to every passing opinion or criticism. I am the gatekeeper of my energy. Only love is allowed in. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care deeply and wisely. You begin to choose what gets to stay close. You begin to notice, does this thought uplift or drain me? Does this voice speak from love or fear? Does this feeling belong to me? Or have I absorbed it from someone else's chaos? And most importantly, am I choosing peace, or am I trying to prove I deserve it? Let's create new boundaries, but not walls. Boundaries made of light. Boundaries that say, I am allowed to protect what is sacred within me. Boundaries that breathe, that hold, that honor your humanity. This is how you become safe inside, not because the world is always kind, but because you are always kind to yourself. Here is a practice you can try today. Close your eyes, place a hand on your heart, and say to yourself, I am safe inside. I don't need everyone to understand me to know who I am. I don't need agreement to know I am enough. I don't need to react. I am allowed to choose. Say it softly. Say it until your nervous system believes you. Say it like you're speaking to the tenderest version of yourself. Because you are. Let these words settle in like honey. Let them become your new nervous system language. Your inner child is listening. Your future self is watching. And they both smile when you choose peace. And when the old habits of over-explaining or over-apologizing rise up, meet them with a breath and a gentle reminder, I am safe now. I do not owe my peace to anyone's understanding. There will always be noise in the world, but you get to choose what you turn up and what you turn down. You get to choose what enters your sacred space. And every time you come back to your breath, back to your body, back to your center, you are telling the universe, I trust myself now. You are saying, I'm not waiting for life to be calm. I am becoming the calm. So now we affirm, with power and softness, I am the gatekeeper of my energy. Only love is allowed in. Say it again with your whole being. I am the gatekeeper of my energy. Only love is allowed in. This is not a fantasy. This is a practice. And you, dear soul, are ready to honor your heart, ready to trust your voice, ready to build a life that feels like peace inside. That's not just healing, that's transformation. Don't forget, you are the only thinker in your mind. That means, my beloved, no one else gets to tell you who you are anymore. Not the person who left you, not the voice that raised you, not the world that asked you to shrink. You get to decide now. This moment, this breath, belongs to you. Reclaiming your power doesn't mean becoming someone new. It means returning to the truth of who you already are, beneath the layers of fear, guilt, shame, and conditioning. Power is not force. It is not loud or sharp. True power is steady, calm, and deeply rooted in self-trust. It's knowing that no matter what happens outside, you are safe on the inside. Imagine walking into every room with an invisible crown, not a crown made of ego, but of dignity, of wholeness. A crown that says, I belong here. I am not defined by how others treat me. I am defined by how I treat myself. Take a moment now and think, who have you been giving your power to? An old relationship? A parent's disapproval? A society that never celebrated your softness? You don't need to hate those parts of your story. You just need to reclaim your authorship. This is your book now, and you get to write a new chapter. When you reclaim your power, you no longer wait for someone else to validate your worth. You stop abandoning yourself just to be accepted. You begin to say, I am enough, even if they never see it. I choose peace, even if they choose chaos. I forgive myself for all the years I didn't know better, and I bless myself for choosing again now. Darling, the pain that used to break you will no longer reach you. not because it disappears, but because your energy no longer makes it welcome. You will still feel, of course, but you will not crumble. You will stand rooted in a new truth, that you are the source of your own safety. So how do we begin? Gently, lovingly, with one small but radical decision. Today I come home to myself. That is the foundation of all empowerment, the return to your own heart. Here is a practice to anchor this truth. Stand in front of a mirror, look softly into your eyes, and say, I see you, I honor you, I protect you. No one gets to speak more harshly to you than I speak with love. You may cry. That's good. Tears mean something sacred is melting, that the part of you that has long been waiting is finally being heard. Every time you say no to what drains you and yes to what delights you, you reclaim your power. Every time you speak your truth, even with a shaky voice, you reclaim your power. Every time you forgive yourself instead of blaming yourself, you reclaim your power. You are not a victim of your past. You are a student of it. And today, you graduate. So we affirm this together. I no longer abandon myself. I stand in the light of my own love. I reclaim my power with peace and grace. Again, I no longer abandon myself. I stand in the light of my own love. I reclaim my power with peace and grace. Let this be the day you begin to walk as someone who knows their worth is not up for debate. Let this be the day your healing becomes louder than your history. Let this be the day you remember you are not just worthy, you are sacred. And as always, my darling, life loves you, and so do I.